Hello, I'm ABX Toycat, and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about the ocean monument in Minecraft, because as of the most recent update, it is now one of the rarest naturally spawning structures in the game, as well as being the largest continuous one in the game. So a lot of people are really curious about this thing, because it is quite cool, and everybody knows that it spawns in Guardians, it spawns in Elder Gardens, and it has a lot of unique blocks, but not everybody knows about all of the other cool things that you don't immediately find out about the thing. So I figured I'd share with you in today's video some things you might not have known about the ocean monument in Minecraft. So please do like it if you do like it, because it helps out the channel a lot, and let's know you do like it. But let's get straight into the video, really, shall we? So let's start by, I guess, giving ourselves a night vision potion, and then let's start by talking about exactly, how you find these things, because that's the first key thing here, because everybody knows that they're found in deep ocean, or at least everybody should know that's how it's done, but it doesn't actually need to be found entirely in a deep ocean, because a lot of people are like, okay, well, let's look in the very center of the deep ocean, because they're massive, right? However, it was only the center of the ocean monument actually has to spawn in a deep ocean. The rest can spawn in any water-based biome. So, let's say this was deep ocean here in the center, and then just over here, for instance, there was a river. As long as it's water-based, river, frozen ocean, something like that, it will actually let the ocean monument spawn anyway, which means you can be in the weird situation where part of your monument is actually inside a river, or inside, a frozen ocean or something, and I think that's kind of cool. So yeah, that's the first thing you might not know, but the second thing is actually sort of the way Guardians spawn here, because, Guardians, obviously we all know, they spawn around the temple to protect it, or they're guardians of the ocean monument, you could say. But yeah, if we actually go just over to here, you'll see that this level right here, the lowest level of the prismarine, is the lowest level they'll spawn at, because they'll spawn anywhere in this kind of large area, going from corner to corner, from the very peak of the thing to the very bottom of the thing. However, because just below this ocean monument doesn't count as part of it, as far as the guardians are concerned, it means that no guardians will spawn down here, which means a very clever way to get into the temple without, having to fight like 10 guardians is to go beneath the thing. So let's give ourselves another night vision potion, because we clearly didn't give ourselves probably. But yeah, going down here is one of the clever ways to avoid guardians, because the only way you'll see one down here is if they follow you from below the thing, which means as long as you just go in from a subtle angle where you don't see any, you can just swim down here, give yourself some oxygen, and then peek up to here, and boom, you're inside the place without having to fight a single guardian. I think it's a handy tip, and it's probably one worth bearing in mind for when the mobs get better. So yeah, that's the first thing, that's the second thing right there. The third thing is actually that in any area where the guardians are spawning, it kind of counts as its own separate biome, because obviously it's got the guardians spawning, which only spawn in this natural area, by the way, even once the ocean monument's gone, but also in the entirety of the area where guardians spawn, no other hostile mob can spawn. So that means because guardians only spawn underwater, if you drain this entire thing of water, something I've attempted myself, then what will actually happen is once it's all drained of water, in that area, no mobs will spawn at all, no hostile, no friendly, and that's kind of a cool little thing. It's like the mushroom biome, except no mushrooms even, and yeah, if you ever wanted to have peace and quiet in a Minecraft world that you're not playing on peaceful with, then you can make this like your little sanctuary where no creepers can get to, no anything like that, and I think that's kind of cool if you ask me. So yeah, inside of an ocean monument does never have other hostile mobs spawn. It only has the guardians, and of course the 3 times per world Elder Guardians. So yeah, that's that right there. Let's move on to the next one, which is actually the inside of the place is a maze. I'm sure you're familiar with the fact that it's different every single world, and there's a lot of different variations of the thing, but it does use the same key blocks all the time, and if you know how a lot of these places function, you can know how to find your way around the place. So for instance, always look above you, always look at the sides, and if you end up at a dead end, so let's say sometimes you actually have an ocean moment with none of these things dug in, always make sure you just dig forwards, because there's only ever a max of 2 blocks between each one, so we can dig from there straight through to here, for instance, using only just 2 blocks. Obviously, mining fatigue, that's really tricky, but it's something you can do, and a lot of the time when you go into the secret rooms like this, so this one was actually quite useless one, there's a lot of the time you can actually mine into rooms which are meant to be found naturally, because although this the ocean monument's meant to generate with everything kind of linked together, it doesn't always do that. So yeah, you can find secret rooms if you dig through walls that just aren't connected to anything. So this one here, for instance, is it just connected to that and nothing? Oh, it goes up there. And there's a sponge room up there. So, actually, now we're here, let's talk about the sponge room. So, basically, yeah, something a lot of people didn't know, and so many people always ask me during my stream, so I figure it's got to be worth mentioning, is the fact that you can actually find sponges inside your ocean monument. So, every single ocean monument has between 1 and 4 of these sponge rooms, and as you can see right here, there's a bunch of wet sponges. You find roughly half a stack of wet sponges in here. Obviously, once you dry them out, you've got sponges in survival. So, if you need sponges in survival, this is something you can get here. Again, something a lot of people didn't know, but the one a lot more people didn't know, and I didn't know until I just kind of dug around and was like, oh, there's gold in here, is the fact that every single ocean monument has one of these rooms, and this room is like the hub room. If you find this place, it will generally link to all 3 of the Elder Guardians, so you can see from here, for instance, over to here, we've got Elder Guardian number well, we should have Elder Guardian number 1. There he is. Then if we go all the way back around the edges, this place will take from wing to wing, by the way. It's very handy. But yeah, the second one is just over here. You can see Elder Guardian, and then it will also link to the one in the sky, which I can show in a second. But yeah, it's just up in this up there. You get the point. But yeah, the interesting thing about this room is not just the fact that it links to all the Elder Guardians, although that is quite handy. It's the fact that behind this dark prismarine here, there's actually 8 blocks of gold, which is very conveniently enough for a obviously enchanted golden apple. So yeah, 8 free gold blocks inside this place, just in case you don't see it. There you go. It's one of those very, very bizarre facts about the place that I don't know. It must have been a really cool secret the first time anyone found one. I know I was really surprised when I found it. I was like, oh yeah, there actually is gold blocks, because I thought people were trolling when they're like, oh, there's a secret gold block room, but there is in fact one of these in the little hub room. So the hub room is always towards the back of the ocean monument. It's usually on this side, in the center, or on the far right side. And yeah, if you just follow this place and like dig through the wall a few times, if you're really having problems finding it, you'll find it. But yeah, it should be the hub room, so you should be able to find it from most sides. Next up, we've got the fact that both of these sides here, so you generally have a side looking like this and a side looking like the other thing. They're actually randomly generated as to which one will be in which. So although sometimes this will look like this and sometimes it will look like the other one, for the most part, you just need to bear in mind that you're just going to get one of the other, and it'll generate in one side and one on the other. So yeah, that's an interesting fact you might not have known there. So, next up, after we moved on from the fact that there's a secret gold room, there's 1 to 4 secret sponge rooms, and also the whole place is generally linked together, but you can just break through and do some clever stuff like this if you want to get to the center. We actually have the final secret here, which is actually one a lot of people don't know about, and it's one I've dismissed on my Dreaming Moment world, so maybe that's why. But basically, there is actually a couple of secret areas in the ocean monument that, again, can't be reached from anywhere else, and that aren't meant to be reached from anywhere else. Because, for instance, you can see because it's, squarish rooms, and this place is not a squarish structure, you obviously end up with a lot of excess space, and in this case, if you dig down below the thing, just below the very top here, you can find this kind of secret-looking area like this, that's just like, oh, it's just a bunch of blocks. So, nothing besides, guardians will naturally generate here. There's no real use to it, but what can be done with it, because a lot of the time, you can actually, basically, because sometimes, these blocks won't be here, you can go down into the other rooms, and you can use it as a clever way to navigate around the place, because one thing if you can get yourself up here, so let's say, let's say this was entirely, dug out by default, which sometimes it is, then what you can actually do is dig through here and guarantee you'll get straight through to the key center room, because you just have to go up 1 block and boom, well, I did it slightly wrong there, but yeah, boom, you're there. So also you can just go in from the top and boom, that's the third Elder Garden right there, just to show you that we're linked to the hub. I could do that, but yeah, basically the ocean monument is a very, very, very cool place. I'll finish up here with the last thing you might not have known, because although most people know this, it's kind of really cool when you first discover it. Basically, all of these blocks will only naturally spawn here in the ocean monument, and without an ocean monument, you cannot get prismarine, you cannot get a sea lantern, you cannot get dark prismarine. But one thing you might not have known is all of these blocks are actually renewable, because all you have to do is you have to go into a crafting table, and you can see right here, you've got prismarine, which is made from the shards, or it's somewhere in here. You got prismarine, which is 4 shards, prismarine brick is 9 shards, you got the dark prismarine, which is adding a dark thing to there, and you can also make sea lanterns, which I believe is in the glowstone area, because sea lantern just requires those things, and then it requires a rarer version of the prismarine crystal. So yeah, that's that right there. You can generate every single one of the blocks found in this place by just killing enough guardians, and you can get enough guardians by by turning this whole thing into a guardian farm. So yeah, the guardian farm, even though it's a project that will take you hours and hours in survival, it's kind of worth it, and this entire place is worth exploring. Even if you just find one, you're like, I'd like some sponges, you can get that. If you just want enough gold for a golden apple, you can get that. If you want a challenge in fighting the Elder Guardians, you can get that. And yeah, once you know everything about the place, it only gets cooler. Even as a cool place to fight mobs, it's pretty cool, but as a cool place to find all these amazing blocks and to make them renewable, I think that finding a seed of an ocean monument is something you should actually definitely do. So yeah, every single Sunday I do a series called Seed Sunday, so make sure you check out for that if you like your ocean monuments. But anyway, check out the Seed Sunday playlist and link down below if you want to check out Seed of this. But other than that, I hope you did all enjoyed today's video. I hope you learned something about the ocean monument you didn't know before. And if you did, I'd appreciate a like on the video, share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you all had a nice day, and I'll see you all in the next video.